Today I checked my DHL delivery page, you know, when you have the tracking, and they said that the delivery has been attempted to be delivered, but I wasn't here. And truth of the matter told, we were at a hardware store getting skirt boards and what else? Some finishing touches for the different renovations that we have ongoing. But the thing that I got, I haven't opened this yet, and here, so it's a package, and I should get a wider angle lens for these. So this was one of the things that I had the whole thing. I bought the whole thing. Is, I don't know how to pronounce it, Wusthof. It's a German knife maker, and this is a 402,000 grit stone for sharpening knives. So I'm having trouble opening this. This is one of the downsides of MS, that my fingers have lost their power. And I haven't looked them intensely, but I've looked a couple of sharpening videos of people actually going about sharpening their knives, and they get them up to certain sharpness fairly easy. And I bet there's a better way of doing this. So I have a couple of kitchen knives that are horribly blunt, and this is now 400. It's printed actually on here, 402,000. So that's one stone for sharpening. So that would be basically what? I'm missing a stone. I bought two. This is not good, because I bought one that 402,000, and then I got I think it was it 3,000 and 6,000? But anyway, but this is the primary thing that I bought. It's the same maker, and it's a blade, or a knife, sorry. And let's see what this looks like. And as I mentioned, I had two horribly blunt kitchen knives. Well, the other one isn't that blunt, but still it isn't that special. And here on the knife, I don't know if it focuses on it, but they had an option of engraving whatever picture you wanted there. You could select of their pre-made images, or then you could actually create your own. And my nickname is Ride. It's still got grease on it, so this needs to be cleaned. But yeah, the stone is to keep this one sharp, plus then, yeah, this is horribly sharp. It just eats into my nail with the slightest pressure, or it sticks there in it. It'll be a pleasure using this compared to those blunt ones. So that stone is to keep this sharp and sharpen my existing very, how do I say, blunt knives. Yeah, this package is missing stuff. I bought a stone. Fuck, I need to check it up. But it had a guider or a ruler in it that actually kept the knife, and because I don't know anything about sharpening stuff. I know something, or I've done it, but very limited. So what I wanted to this actually feels quite nice. This thing in my hand. Let's see. But anyway, further tests to be conducted to see whether I get decent sharpness out of my kitchen tools. So, Finland has joined the nations that have been afflicted by Islamic terrorism. And a market square in Turku, which is fairly close to us. I mean, not a walking distance and barely a cycling distance, but still fairly close to us. A Moroccan Muslim screaming God is greater, which is a lie. It's not as most translations put it, God is great. It is a comparative statement where they're saying that their God, the God that Muslims serve, is greater than our God or anybody else's God, the Jews or the Christians, I think mainly. And now looking at the people, how they post on Facebook and what they say about this is a lot, or no, I'll put it this way. Some of my Christian friends, they are of the opinion that we're so horrible because we name them as that they're maahanmuuttaja, that they're immigrants, that we're horrible because we focus on the point that they're migrants, and we should just be loving towards people. And some of the people that helped the market square, the helper's name was Hassan, but they were clearly foreigners, and I think that argument is answered beautifully by Brigitte Gabriel. I don't know how to pronounce his name. She has this view about her view is obviously in the context of America, but her view is that the peaceful and the law-abiding minority, it doesn't count that it was 18 terrorists that took down the World Trade Centers. Then again, there's a conspiracy theory that it might be an inside job, that the towers were blown up. But the point being that all of these attacks, the peaceful minority is irrelevant. So that's my friends. They're or Christian friends, and I'm debating whether to kind of talk about the subject. But then, oh yeah, this I need to mention before I go into the second point, is this one. Look at my finger. Does it focus? There. We did fajitas, and we did the guacamole, and we did the salsa ourselves, we're very pleased at doing that. Then I did corn fajitas. They didn't come out so well. But the point was, when I was chopping up chili, I nicked my finger. I got a bit of my finger. But the more severe injury was to my wife, Terhi. She took the new knife that I bought, which is it's sharp. Let's put it this way. It's just, and it's funny, by the way. This day that this Muslim terrorist attacked in Turku, then the same day we get a new knife and we chop bits of ourselves. Weird. But anyway, she picked the knife up and she dropped it on the kitchen floor, and somehow it bounced and it nicked the side of her big toe. And it must be 1.5 centimeters long, this kind of wedge shape in her toe, and it bled like crazy. We had to put a, tourniquet? Kiristysside on it to stop it from bleeding. But her toe, it was quite horrid at the moment. And it was just by the blade dropping and somehow bounced and it nicked her. The knife is alright, but the wife's a bit worse for wear. And then the other thing, which I think is a lot more serious, there's always going to be these people who say that everybody welcome, we love you, regardless who you are. And you know, I feel for them, and I think they're wrong. If there's nations have borders, and they're meant to be, and the government is supposed to protect us within these borders, and the government's main responsibility is to take care of its own citizens. And I think that a lot of Western countries have forgotten this obligation. But there are still, and they're normally leftist people who just welcome everybody and without understanding the consequences. I can't pronounce that word. As our government, they say that first it was YLE, is Finnish broadcasting company. First they were completely denying that it had anything to do with Islam. This guy was running up the street yelling Allah Akbar, or however you say it, and stabbing people to death. He only got 2, and I think he injured 6, so 8 altogether. So it was clear from the get-go that it was an Islamic terrorist attack. And the politicians, they just refused to say, they still refuse to say that Islam is the reason. And the reason, I think, I've been racking my brain, how is it possible that they don't say this out loud? But I believe it has to do with their understanding of God and of eternity and all of it, because it's completely removed from their thinking that there is a God who judges us, and they don't have this concept that they're living in relationship to God. So when these Islamists come who have the idea, they have a very strong idea that they're living before God, their deeds will then justify whether they go to paradise or not. And then Allah does, or their God, doesn't give any reassurance that do these things and you'll end up in heaven. No. What their religion teaches, to my understanding, is that there's only one way that you can guarantee your salvation. It is by dying in holy war, jihad. and it is being taught to them, and it reads in Quran, or it reads that, what do you call it? It's all right to kill infidels or people who don't believe in their God. So, hence, it's if you get killed. And this is a good thing about Finland, is that if you come here to commit atrocities like that, the police, they shoot you in the leg, or they shoot you in the arm, but they stop you, and you do not die. So you do not go to their belief. I don't believe that they're going anywhere else but hell, but their belief. They're not going to paradise if they come and commit what do you call it, terrorist attacks here. But if you live, or if you do these knife attacks or truck attacks, or car attacks, you most likely you'll rot in prison for a fairly long time. But no, what do you call it, martyrdom for you in Finland. But the politicians, they do not understand what is the kind of driving motive behind it. They believe that by coming here and dying, they go to paradise and get tons of virgins that become virgin again after I'm not even going there. It's some weird stuff that they believe in. Muslims, it's no two ways about it. They need to be loved, and God loves them, and that wants a relationship with them. But the religion of Islam, it's just, I need to put my thoughts together on this one, but it's, anyway, regardless of all of this, Jesus Christ is our and my King. Amen.